Welcome back to Daily Principle. Today, we're talking about the mindset that separates those who only dream about success from those who actually achieve it. The decision to fall in love with the process, stay consistent every day, and let the results become a natural consequence of the work. What if the biggest reason you're not seeing results isn't a lack of talent, but an obsession with results themselves? Most people quit just before progress becomes visible because they're watching the scoreboard instead of doing the work. In today's video, you'll discover why focusing on the process, not the outcome, is the mindset that builds lasting success, unshakable confidence, and a life you'll be proud of. Most people begin chasing a dream believing the reward is waiting at the finish line. They imagine the success, the money, the recognition, or the life they've always wanted. But after years of watching people succeed and fail, I've realized something important. The greatest reward is never the destination. It's the person you become while getting there. That's why your focus has to stay on the work, not the outcome. Results are simply proof that your effort has been paying off. The real transformation happens during the process. Every day you show up, you build discipline, character, and resilience. Those qualities become part of you long before anyone notices your success. Think about planting a seed. You don't stand over the soil every morning demanding to see a tree. You water it, protect it, remove the weeds, and trust the process. Growth happens beneath the surface long before it's visible. The same is true for your goals. Most people quit because they mistake invisible progress for no progress. In reality, the work is already changing them. They just can't see it yet. Success belongs to those who keep showing up even when there's no applause. Too many people spend their time imagining what life will feel like after they've reached the top, but they ignore the climb that gets them there. Every meaningful achievement requires effort, patience, and repetition. You can't skip the hard days and still expect extraordinary results. Instead of wishing life were easier, become stronger. Instead of hoping for quick rewards, become someone who enjoys improving every day. When you fall in love with learning, practicing, and growing, success becomes a natural consequence instead of an obsession. Measure your progress by your consistency, not by outside recognition. Awards fade, compliments disappear, even success itself comes and goes. But the habits you build and the discipline you develop stay with you for life. Once you begin seeing the work itself as the reward, something powerful happens. You stop feeling pressured by timelines. You enjoy the journey more. And often the results arrive when you're too focused on improving to even notice. Many people become discouraged because they expect immediate proof. Someone starts exercising for 2 weeks, doesn't see dramatic changes, and quits. Another begins saving money, but after a few months feels discouraged because financial freedom still seems far away. The mistake isn't the effort, it's expecting instant results. Life has never worked that way. Harvest always comes after planting. Growth always follows consistency. If your motivation depends on quick results, you'll likely give up before success has a chance to appear. The truth is that there's always a gap between effort and reward. That's where most dreams disappear. People lose patience during the waiting season. The ones who eventually succeed aren't always the most talented. They're simply the ones who continue doing the work after everyone else stops. Shift your attention from what you're getting to who you're becoming. Every action you repeat is shaping your identity. You're not simply producing results, you're creating the future version of yourself. I once knew someone who dreamed of becoming an author. He constantly imagined holding a finished book in his hands, seeing his name on the cover, and inspiring readers around the world. But that dream felt so overwhelming that he never began writing. I told him to stop thinking about the completed book and focus on writing one page today. One page became another. Those pages became chapters, and eventually those chapters became a finished manuscript. Long before the book was published, he had already become a writer because of his daily commitment. That's how every meaningful goal works. A runner isn't created by crossing one finish line. They're created every morning they lace up their shoes and train. A leader isn't made the day they receive a title. They're shaped every time they solve a problem, take responsibility, and make difficult decisions when nobody is watching. Never forget this. The process changes you far more than the reward ever will. Money can disappear, titles can be taken away, recognition fades. But the discipline, confidence, and character you develop through consistent effort become permanent parts of who you are. If there's one lesson worth remembering, let it be this. Discipline may feel uncomfortable today, but regret is far heavier to carry tomorrow. The small sacrifices you make each day are nothing compared to the pain of looking back years from now and realizing you never gave your dreams a genuine chance. Stay committed to the work, trust the process, and let the person you're become your greatest achievement. Every day you choose to keep going instead of giving up, you're building something far more valuable than success. You're building character. Every practice session, every disciplined choice, every time you stay committed when quitting feels easier, you're becoming the person your future depends on. Character is what carries you through the seasons when results are nowhere in sight. If you try to skip the process and demand the reward, you'll always feel unstable. But when you embrace the process, you develop strength that lasts. The amazing part is that once you genuinely enjoy the work, success often arrives quietly. One day you'll look back and realize how far you've come without even noticing, because your attention was on improving, not counting victories. Learning to separate yourself from immediate outcomes is one of life's greatest challenges. We live in a world that celebrates achievements, money, titles, and recognition. Those things certainly have value, but they cannot be your only source of motivation. Results don't appear every day. They come after weeks, months, or even years of consistent effort that often feels invisible. I once met a young entrepreneur who had incredible talent and endless ambition. He launched his business with excitement, but after only a few months, when growth wasn't happening as quickly as he expected, he walked away. His mistake wasn't a lack of ability, it was becoming attached to instant results instead of committing to the daily work. He wanted proof before persistence, and that's where many people lose their dreams. Too many people want the harvest before they've earned it. They want rewards without patience, victories without discipline, and success without sacrifice. But if your emotions rise and fall with every outcome, life becomes exhausting. You'll celebrate one day and feel defeated the next. Instead, attach your confidence to the process. Your effort belongs to you. Your habits belong to you. Your consistency belongs to you. Those are things no one can take away. The results will arrive in their own time. Think about a farmer. After planting seeds, they don't dig them up every few days to check whether they're growing. They trust the process. They water the soil, protect the crops, remove the weeds, and allow time to do its work. Eventually, the harvest comes because they stayed faithful to what they could control. I once heard a successful athlete explain how they handled pressure during competition. They said they never focused on winning while they were playing. Instead, they focused on executing each small task as well as possible. Every pass, every movement, every decision received their full attention. They believed the scoreboard would take care of itself if they handled the fundamentals correctly. That mindset shaped not only their athletic career, but every area of their life. This is why consistency always outlasts impatience. People who only chase results usually stop when progress slows. But those who genuinely enjoy showing up every day become unstoppable because the work itself keeps them moving forward. Eventually, they achieve the results too, not because they obsessed over them, but because they refused to abandon the process. So let go of the constant need to measure outcomes. Your responsibility isn't controlling the harvest. Your responsibility is planting the seed, watering it every day, protecting it, and staying committed long enough for growth to happen. Everything comes back to consistency, because your identity isn't shaped by what you do once in a while. It's built by what you repeat. One workout won't transform your health. One book won't make you wise. One investment won't create wealth. It's the steady rhythm of disciplined actions over time that changes your life. Many people lose confidence because they repeatedly break promises they make to themselves. They say they'll start tomorrow, but tomorrow comes and nothing changes. Every broken promise weakens trust in yourself. On the other hand, every time you follow through, even in a small way, you strengthen your identity. You prove to yourself that your word matters. One of the greatest forms of discipline is the kind nobody sees. The early mornings, the extra effort, the quiet hours of practice, the work you do without recognition. This is where real character is created. Long before anyone notices your success, your invisible habits are preparing you for it. I remember talking with a man who constantly doubted himself. He believed he wasn't capable enough for the goals he was pursuing. I told him that confidence doesn't appear before action. It grows because of action. Every day you do the work, you collect evidence that you're becoming capable. Months later, he returned and said something I'll never forget. I stopped waiting to feel confident and simply kept showing up. Somewhere along the way, I became the person I was hoping to become. That's the real secret. Identity isn't something you discover one day. It's something you build, one decision at a time. Every disciplined action lays another brick. Every promise you keep adds another layer. Eventually, you realize you've created a life and a character through thousands of ordinary choices. You didn't become that person because success finally arrived. You became that person because you committed to the daily disciplines that shaped who you are. If you truly want to change your life, don't spend all your energy chasing a new identity. Chase consistency instead. Keep doing the small, meaningful actions every single day, and over time, those actions will shape who you become. Stay committed long enough, and the results will naturally follow. Eventually, your confidence won't come from achievements, but from knowing you've proven your character through countless daily choices. Many people spend their entire lives searching for fulfillment, believing they'll finally find it after reaching a certain income, earning a promotion, or receiving recognition. But fulfillment rarely waits at the finish line. More often, it's found in the journey itself. It's hidden in the discipline, the growth, and the commitment to doing meaningful work day after day. I've spoken with people who achieved incredible success, wealth, influence, awards, and accomplishments most people only dream about. Surprisingly, many of them admitted that those achievements weren't what made them feel fulfilled. Their greatest pride came from remembering the early mornings, the difficult days, the sacrifices, and the moments when they kept going even though no one was watching. Their satisfaction wasn't built by the trophy. It was built by the effort required to earn it. Instead of wishing the work were easier, focus on becoming more capable. That simple shift changes everything. When you stop resisting the process and begin mastering it, the work itself becomes rewarding. You're no longer trying to escape discipline. You begin appreciating what discipline is making of you. I once knew a young man who wanted success as quickly as possible. He rushed every step, searched for shortcuts, and became discouraged whenever progress slowed. His happiness depended entirely on reaching the next milestone. I encouraged him to slow down, develop his skills, strengthen his habits, and learn to enjoy improving instead of constantly chasing results. At first, he doubted that advice. He believed fulfillment would only arrive after achieving his biggest goal. But over time, he changed his mindset. He dedicated himself to learning, practicing, and becoming better every day. Years later, after finally reaching the success he had dreamed about, he told me something I'll never forget. The achievement wasn't the greatest reward. The greatest reward was realizing I'd become the kind of person who was capable of earning it. That's real fulfillment. It's reaching a point where you no longer depend on applause to stay motivated. It's understanding that every day of growth is already part of the reward. Each lesson, each challenge, and each improvement makes you stronger, wiser, and more prepared for whatever comes next. When your happiness depends only on results, your emotions stay in someone else's hands. Circumstances change. Opportunities come and go. Success doesn't always arrive on your schedule. But when your satisfaction comes from doing meaningful work, you'll always have a reason to feel proud, because your effort is something you control. That's why it's so important to become obsessed with the process instead of the outcome. Results can be delayed. Sometimes they don't come exactly as expected. But the person you become through discipline, patience, and persistence is something no one can ever take away. Life doesn't reward people who simply dream. It rewards those who take action, keep moving, and continue showing up long after the excitement fades. That's the difference between wishing for success and actually creating it. The truth is, you can't control every outcome. You can't control timing, the economy, other people, or unexpected setbacks. What you can control is your attitude, your habits, your effort, and your willingness to improve. Those choices belong completely to you. When you focus on those things, you stop waiting for success to validate your life. You're already living with purpose because every day you're investing in becoming someone stronger. Never underestimate the power of small daily decisions. Your future isn't created by one dramatic moment. It's built by ordinary choices repeated consistently. The time you wake up, how you spend your mornings, whether you choose discipline over distraction, those decisions slowly shape the direction of your life. If you want extraordinary results, make enough ordinary good choices that success eventually becomes unavoidable. Stop waiting for applause before believing in yourself. Stop tying your happiness to the next achievement. Learn to appreciate the repetition, the practice, and the effort. Because if you genuinely enjoy the process, you've already won, even before the final result arrives. Always remember this: success isn't measured only by what you achieve. It's measured by who you become while pursuing it. Don't wish life were easier. Become stronger, wiser, and more disciplined. Keep showing up, keep improving, and keep doing the work. Carry this lesson with you every day. Focus on the effort, not the scoreboard. Commit yourself to consistent action, celebrate steady progress, and trust that the results will come in time. In the end, the greatest reward won't be the success you reached. It will be the person you became on the journey to get there. At the end of the day, success is never defined by a single achievement. It is built through the choices you make when no one is watching. Stay committed to the process, trust the power of consistent effort, and remember that every small action is shaping the person you're becoming. If you found this message valuable, subscribe to Daily Principle, share your thoughts in the comments, and join us for the next video as we continue building the mindset for lasting success and personal growth.